Check, check, check.
జనమని మైక్ చెక్ చేస్తే బాగోదేమో.
పర్లేదు, ఏం కాదు. చెక్ చెక్ మైక్ చెక్. పర్లేదు.
ఎప్పుడైనా కొన్ని ఉపయోగపడుతుంది.
చెక్ చెక్. హలో, చెక్ చెక్. హలో, చెక్ చెక్.
Check, check, check.
अभी कम ये आवाज आ रही है देखो
चेक 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 1 2 3 टेस्ट
ये तो क्लियर आ रहा जो बात कर रहे हैं वो क्लियर आ रहा वो डिस्टरबेंस आप निकाल सकते हैं हाँ अगर आपके पास केवल
Good evening. Request everybody to maintain a little silence on the right side too. So, good evening and a very warm welcome to all the esteemed guests present here to celebrate the essence of creativity and innovation. So, it is very, very heartening to see in such a short span, all of us have decided to come here and celebrate the creativity and innovation, marking or observing the World Creativity and Innovation Day on today, April 21. I and Pranay Kumar, Head Communication from TSIC, will be your host for the evening, and we will be beginning the stage program. Before we commence the program, a few housekeeping rules. We are now seeing that the COVID cases are rising, and yet again nothing matters the most than our health. So we request you to wear your mask throughout the duration of the event and sanitize yourself regularly. Let's all make sure we are practicing social distancing as much as possible for how long we can do it. And with further ado, let the celebrations begin with the lighting of the lamp. Now I invite Principal Secretary to IT and INC, Government of Telangana, Sri Jayesh Ranjan Sir, IAS, and Dr. Shanta Tautam, CIO to the Telangana State, Mahankali Srinivas Rao Garu, CEO of T-Hub, Ms. Deepthi Raula, CEO of V-Hub, and Anand from T-Works, and Rashmi Pimpale, CEO of Rich, for the lighting of the lamp. Forward even from the ecosystem to celebrate this, and to remind, and some of us know and some of us are still yet to note, so the World Creativity and Innovation Day celebrated today has a theme every year by the UN, and we want to reiterate that the theme for this year is collaboration, and we all believe in that. And also, like Jayesh Ranjan sir always keeps mentioning in his talks, right, the one thing that this state has been consistently upfront compared to other states is the fact that we take ecosystem as a whole approach, or a state as a whole approach, for all the efforts of innovation that we do to build the culture of innovation in the state. And now, before going forward, so now I call upon Dr. Shanta Tautam, CIO of the state, to set the context of why we gathered here today and begin it.
Thank you, Pranay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. A warm welcome to all of you. When we thought about hosting this event, T-Innovation Mahotsavam, so rather than bringing esteemed people from the ecosystem to talk about their journey, we wanted our end recipients, the innovators, the startups, especially the women entrepreneurs, and also the grant awardees, who are kind of being part of our initiatives, to take the center stage and share their experiences. So you'll get to see a lot of our beneficiaries, our stakeholders talking about their journeys, and I'm sure it's going to be super interesting. Please wait for next 2 hours and be our guests. And after the 2 hours, we have high tea and a networking opportunity for you guys to connect with each other. Thank you so much once again for joining us today. And without further ado, we'll kickstart the whole event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shata. So before we start, so would like to reiterate again one more thing. So the session.
Thank you. Warm greetings to all of you. Also, greetings on the occasion of World Creativity and Innovation Day. కొంతమంది గ్రామీణ ప్రాంతాల నుంచి కూడా వచ్చి ఉన్నారు. వారి అందరికీ కూడా ఇక్కడికి వచ్చినందుకు నా హార్దిక ధన్యవాదం, నా హార్దిక అభివందనం. ఈరోజు ప్రపంచ ఇన్నోవేషన్ దినోత్సవంగా ఈ రోజుని జరుపుకుంటున్నాము. సో ఇన్నోవేషన్ దినం సందర్భంగా కూడా మీ అందరికీ హార్దిక శుభాకాంక్షలు. యాజ్ వి నో, innovation is the bedrock of progress, knows lots of opportunities, and therefore it's very, very important that the society recognizes the innovators, society honors the innovators, సొసైటీ సెలబ్రేట్స్ ద ఇన్నోవేటర్స్. మన సమాజంలో అంటే ప్రపంచం మొదలుకొని రోజు నుంచి ఈ రోజు వరకు ఒకటి చూడగలుగుతున్నాము. అది ఏముంది అంటే అభివృద్ధి చేయాల్సిందిగా ఉంటే దానికి ఇన్నోవేషన్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద తెలుగు ఫర్ ఇన్నోవేషన్? ఐ కెన్ స్పీక్ ఇన్ తెలుగు బట్ ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఈస్ ద that's a very non-common word. Please think of it. Before I complete the speech, tell me a simpler word for innovation. So, ఎక్కడైనా అభివృద్ధి జరగాల్సిందిగా ఉంటే, ప్రగతి చెందాల్సిందిగా ఉంటే పునాదిగా మనము ఇన్నోవేషన్ ఖచ్చితంగా ఉంటుంది. అట్లా మనము చూడగలుగుతున్నాము. ఇన్నోవేషన్ చేయలేము, ఊరికే ఇట్లా నిద్రపోతూ ఉంటాము, యథాతథంగా అంతా కొనసాగుతూ ఉంటే అదే మంచిది అట్లా కూడా అనుకునే వాళ్ళు కొంతమంది ఉండవచ్చు. కానీ అట్లాంటి పరిస్థితిలో మీకు ఆదరించడం ఇది కూడా చాలా చాలా అవసరం ఉంది. సో ఐఎమ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ టు సీ దట్ ఇన్ ద లాస్ట్ 7.5 years తెలంగాణ హ్యాస్ ఎర్న్డ్ ఎ రెప్యుటేషన్ ఫర్ దట్. గత 7.5 సంవత్సరాల్లో తెలంగాణకి కూడా ఈ రంగంలో చాలా మంచి పేరు వచ్చింది. ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇన్నోవేషన్కి చేయూత ఇచ్చే ప్రభుత్వం ఉంది. ఇన్నోవేషన్ చేసే వాళ్ళని ఎక్కడైనా వాళ్ళు ఉన్నా, నగరాల్లో ఉన్నా, పట్టణాల్లో ఉన్నా, చిన్న చిన్న గ్రామాల్లో ఉన్నా, ఎక్కడో ఉన్నా వాళ్ళని గుర్తించడం, వాళ్ళ ప్రతిభని వెలుగులోకి తీసుకురావడం ఇవన్నీ నిరంతరంగా ప్రభుత్వం చేస్తూ వచ్చింది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద రెప్యుటేషన్ దట్ తెలంగాణ హ్యాస్ ఎర్న్డ్, దట్ wherever the innovation happens, be it rural areas, be it urban areas, we have a way, we have the wherewithal of identifying them, bringing their talent in the light, and of course giving them required kind of support. And in my opinion, this is the least the government can do. While we may not be able to do great things, but the least which we can do is to help them rise further. Thing which we want to do every year from now onwards. నేను 7 సంవత్సరాలుగా ఇక్కడ ఈ శాఖ చూస్తూ ఉన్నా కూడా మొదటిసారిగా ఈ దినాన్ని ఈ రూపంలో అంతమంది సమక్షంలో జరుపుకుంటున్నాము. బట్ ఇక్కడి నుంచి ప్రతి సంవత్సరం ఇట్లాంటి ఒక భవ్యమైన కార్యక్రమం ఉండాలి, అట్లా మా ప్రణాళిక ఉంటుంది. సో ఇన్ ద లాస్ట్ 7 years perhaps this is the first time that before so many people we are organizing such an event, but our endeavor will be that now onwards every year we will conduct an event of this kind, which will be more of, I mean, it's not a function in a regular sense like someone gives a speech, all of you listen and go away. We want this to be a very very interactive kind of a program, that we also take stock of what kind of work was done in the last 1 year, what kind of innovations actually made a real. సాధారణ సమావేశానికి కంటే ఇది చాలా భిన్నంగా ఉంది. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఎవరో కొందరు వచ్చి ఏదో ఉపన్యాసం ఇచ్చి వెళ్ళిపోయారు, మిగతా వాళ్ళు ఊరికే శ్రోతలుగా విని వాళ్ళు కూడా వెళ్ళిపోయారు, అట్లాంటివి ఉండదు. గత సంవత్సరంలో మనం ఎట్లాంటి ప్రగతి ఈ ఇన్నోవేషన్ రంగంలో సాధించుకోగలిగాము. అదేవిధంగా ఇక్కడ మీరు మన స్క్రీన్ పైన చూడగలుగుతుంటారు, ప్రభుత్వ తరఫున కొన్ని ప్రత్యేకమైన సంస్థలు ఇన్నోవేషన్ ని ప్రోత్సహించే బాధ్యత తీసుకొనిన్నాయి. సో వాళ్ళు ఆ సంవత్సరంలో ఎట్లాంటి కార్యక్రమాలు చేశారు, ప్రత్యేకంగా వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారు. హైదరాబాద్లో ఒక స్కూల్ ఉంది, ఓబల్ రెడ్డి పబ్లిక్ స్కూల్. ఆ స్కూల్కి చెందిన విద్యార్థులు ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు వచ్చి చెప్తారు. కానీ అట్లాంటి వేలాది స్కూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అంటే ఈరోజు అందరినీ మనము పిలవలేదు, కానీ ఒక శాంపుల్గా, ఒక నమూనాగా ఒక స్కూల్లో ఎట్లాంటి కార్యక్రమం చేయడం జరిగింది వాళ్ళు తెలియపరుస్తారు. అదేవిధంగా వి హబ్ నుంచి కొంతమంది గ్రామీణ ప్రాంతానికి చెందిన మహిళలు వచ్చి ఉన్నారు. వి హబ్ ఆధ్వర్యంలో వాళ్ళకి ఎట్లాంటి చేయూత ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది, వాళ్ళు ఎట్లాంటి కార్యక్రమం చేస్తూ ఉన్నారు వాళ్ళు తెలియపరుస్తారు. రిచ్ గురించి మీకు అవగాహన ఉంటుంది. హైదరాబాద్లో ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఒక శాంపుల్గా, ఒక నమూనాగా వాళ్ళ విషయాలు తెలియపరుస్తారు. ఇట్లాంటి మిగతా సంస్థలు కూడా వాళ్ళ కార్యక్రమాన్ని వివరిస్తారు. సో యాజ్ ఐ వాజ్ మెన్షనింగ్, వీ హ్యావ్ డిసైడెడ్ టుడే to show before you samples of the kind of work which different institutions have done. So for example, you will notice school children who are sitting here, who are with us, that is from the P. Obal Reddy Public School. Now there are thousands of schools in the state, but we have just brought one school to show to you what the students have been encouraged to do. Endukante innovation ante edo vayas vachakane programs to show how the research institutions in Hyderabad can support innovation. T-Works has supported lots of innovators who are working in prototyping. So all of them will show what they have done in this year. And as I said, we look forward to your suggestions. We look forward to your advice and guidance, etc. Eventually, the motto is, as was mentioned, Telangana has already got that reputation, but we want to build upon it, that this is an innovation-driven state. Whatever is the nature of innovation, nothing is insignificant, nothing is small, nothing is unimportant, and it doesn't matter whether a double PhD is doing that innovation or an illiterate person in a village is doing that innovation. We are completely, mana prapancha innovation dinotsavam sandarbhanga మా ఆశయ ఏముంది అంటే, మా లక్ష్యం ఏముంది అంటే, మొత్తం రాష్ట్రంలోనే ఇన్నోవేషన్ని ప్రోత్సహించే ఒక వాతావరణం నెలకొల్పడుతుంది. అండ్ ప్రతి ఒక్కరిలో, అంటే ఈ వయస్ కానీ, క్వాలిఫికేషన్ కానీ, నేను పెద్దగా చదువుకోలేదు, నా వలన అవ్వదు, అట్లాంటి మనసులో జంకు లేకుండా కానీ, నేను గ్రామీణ ప్రాంతానికి చెందిన వ్యక్తినా, సిటీలో ఉన్న వ్యక్తినా, అట్లాంటి భేదాలు లేకుండా ప్రతి ఇన్నోవేషన్కి ప్రభుత్వ గౌరవం ఇస్తుంది. అండ్ రాను రాను ఎక్కువ మందిలో ఇట్లాంటి ఆలోచనలు నడుస్తూ ఉంటే, ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఒక పదం ఉంది, క్రిటికల్ మాస్ అంటారు. అంటే ఏదైనా సమాజంలో ఏదైనా మార్పు నేను నమ్ముతున్నాను. సో బై ఆర్గనైజింగ్ దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఈవెంట్స్ రెగ్యులర్లీ, we will be, I feel confident that we'll be able to reach that critical mass through which a culture of innovation can be fostered in this state. So I congratulate TSIC in particular, my able colleague Dr. Shanta. At a very short notice we took a decision that we will organize this event, and I'm very happy that, of course, I also feel sad that so many people don't have chairs. We'll have to think of something on how to help them out. But I'm happy that all of you have come here. And is it possible to open the partition? And is there అదేవిధంగా వాళ్ళ టీం సభ్యురాలు వాళ్ళందరికీ కూడా అంత చక్కటి కార్యక్రమం ఏర్పాటు చేస్తున్నందుకు వారికి నా కృతజ్ఞత తెలియపరుస్తున్నాను. కొంతమందికి తెలియకపోవచ్చు, బట్ ఇదే కార్యక్రమం ఈరోజు రాష్ట్రంలో కనీసం ఒక 100 చోట జరుగుతూ ఉంది. ప్రతి జిల్లా కేంద్రంలో, కొన్ని స్కూల్స్లో, కొన్ని ఐటీ టవర్స్లో, చాలా దగ్గర ఈరోజు ఈ కార్యక్రమం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. సో హైదరాబాద్లో మనం ఎట్లా కూర్చొని ఉన్నాము, ఇట్లాంటి కార్యక్రమం కనీసం ఒక 100 చోట ఇదే స్ఫూర్తితో మిగతా దగ్గర కూడా జరుగుతూ ఉంది. సో చాలా భవిష్యత్తులో కూడా ఇట్లాంటి మంచి కార్యక్రమంలో మీ అందరితో పాల్గొనడానికి, భాగస్వామి అవ్వడానికి నాకు అవకాశం వస్తుంది అని నేను అనుకుంటూ, మరి ఒకసారి అంతర్జాతీయ ఇన్నోవేషన్ దినం సందర్భంగా మీ అందరికీ నా హార్దిక అభినందన తెలియపరుస్తూ ఇంతటితో విరమిస్తున్నాను. సో వన్స్ అగైన్ I thank all of you for showing up in large numbers, and I hope that in future also we'll be meeting regularly on these kind of occasions. And once again, warm greetings on the occasion of International Day for Innovation and Creativity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that address. I think the biggest takeaway would be the fact that, innovation cannot be really differentiated within its size, right? Small, big, and it starts from the very young age. And building on the same thought, we would be moving on to our next activity. And we have 4 school students from Andhra Mahila Sabha P. Obul Reddy School, Hyderabad, and this is one of the one of the winning teams for the recently conducted School Innovation Challenge in collaboration with UNICEF, and they have come up with an innovation called intravenous fluid indicator, and they are here. They're going to come onto the stage right now and spread the joy of thinking and out of the box, and the journey of innovation from identification of a problem to creating a solution for the same. I now invite Naman Patnaik, Soham Bilolikar, Debansh Mishra, Gangasani Sanvisri onto the stage.
A very good evening, since the blood is going to start reverse flowing into the saline pipe, hence giving a lot of stress and tension to the nurse, because she has to put a constant check on the saline present in the bottle. To give the nurses a sigh of relief, we have come up with the intravenous fluids indicator.
We came up with this idea as one of our team members' aunt was a doctor who told about the who talked about the problems faced by the paramedic staff, and we interviewed one of the nurses and knew the problems she was facing and tried solving her problem by intravenous dose.
In this prototype, we use the low level point as 60 ml, but it can be coded up to any low level point. Now we'll show the working of this model. First, the nurse has to manually switch on this button. Knobs which depict the low level point. We are also thinking to use transmitters and receivers. A receiver can be placed in the nurse station, which will give an indication to the nurse that the saline is about to get over and it is the time for the saline to get replaced.
Cost effective so that it can be afforded by economically weak people.
Continue.
So we have always learned that we should always give back to the society because society gives us a lot. The hospital staff also.
Finals. SIC final. Yes.
Thank you, Naman, Soham. They want to get support from T-Hub from its inception, right? And now I invite Mr. Mahankali Srinivasarao Garu, the CEO of T-Hub, to moderate our next session with some of the startups that have been supported by T-Hub.
I'll start with Among. Among is the founder of Orange Shark, co-founder at Orange Shark. And then we have Gautam. Gautam is here. Vamshi is, Vamshi, the founder of True Voice. He's building something which will take on world giants. I'll get him to talk about it. Hopefully. And last but not least, I have Vamshi from, Gautam from Quixi. So let's start with a quick 1-minute introduction of each one of you. Could you just tell the audience a little bit about what you're trying to build? So we could start with you.
Good evening, everybody. I think it's not relevant today, so there is a lot of opportunity to create, and that's what we want to. We have done the product, and we are very confident about it, and that's in brief of what we have done.
Thank you. Among, could you just tell the audience about?
Hello everyone, I'm Among, I'm from Nagaland, but Hyderabad is home now. I've been here for a very long time, I've been living here for 20 years. I came here as a student and never left. So when I was at the University of Hyderabad working on my PhD, I along with a couple of friends came together and worked on an EdTech company called Education for Free. We developed a product called the Virtual Classroom, and the idea was to teach kids in rural areas through a network of volunteer teachers. After that, I got into the e-com world. I started a company called greenscarf.com, the first of its kind, a single domain site where we sold exclusive women's fashion, contemporary fashion. I took a break in between raising two little humans, and in the year 2019 I founded InfluencerCon, which is the biggest influencer convention in the country, and it's part of India Joy Festival in Hyderabad. And the first year we had, in the year 2019, over 60 top influencers and content creators came to Hyderabad to network and learn over 2 days and 2 nights. And my latest, which is Orange Shark, it's a talent acquisition platform. And we work with hundreds of freelance recruiters. In India, we have over 20,000 freelance recruiters, and each company has their own internal, talent acquisition team. But it's not possible for startups to have that, and it becomes incredibly difficult for startups to build their team. And that's where we come in, right? We're automating a process to a point where startups startups feel like they have their own internal team when they work with us. We are growing really quickly, and we have over 60 startups working with us now. We have a couple of unicorns as well. We even raised a small pre-seed round and from well-known angel investors. And yeah, that's about it at the moment. Yeah. Thank you.
Gautam?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. A quick introduction on Quicksay is that we are a no-code platform. We help businesses build applications without writing code. Now, why is this important? On the theme of innovation, right? So this actually becomes a platform for innovation in every organization. So in today's world, the need of digitization is there everywhere. However, the skill set required is in huge shortage. So by providing a no-code platform, we are allowing people who have the business knowledge and the domain process understanding to be able to build digital solutions without writing a single line of code. So through that, we are able to scale the level of digitization in every organization and therefore across the world. So that's our global mission.
Thank you. Okay, so let me start with the AI man, conversational AI man. So first of all, what inspired you to take up this idea? When did you get that eureka moment saying, listen, I must build a solution to solve this problem? And second is also tell the audience a little bit about what is unique about what you are doing.
Since my MBA days, I was just wondering, we have a McDonald's burger, they were selling bread here. And I was thinking, why can't we brand idli and sell there? There is so much uniqueness and so much we can do here. And what is that we can take out? And just that then I figure out that they do marketing better and they are more confident. They think that they have something to sell and they innovate. And the primary dream is essentially to bring something from inside which is original and which is here and take it out. But having said that, I'm not into franchisee business or a marketing business. What came naturally to me is AI, because I have been into statistics and I've been working with corporate for many years in this field. So that is what comes to me naturally. So then we were working with few clients, and there is a pretty big gap what we find when people want chatbots or voice bots, and they try to implement. It takes years, and even the hard-coded bots don't really deliver. I mean, they do very little, like collect a little bit of information here and there. So then we thought there is something we can do here, because we have been working in NLP and speech technologies, etc., and we have the capability. So we are, I am driven by the dream of taking something right from here globally, and it's a natural thing that we are in AI, because that is where I spent most of my years. So that is what is easily doable for me.
So do you foresee at some point AI taking over and humans becoming redundant?
AI taking over, I mean, every time we have something like when trucks came over, bullock carts went, but when IT came over, many jobs went. When AI comes, robots come and they take, but it's an adjustment. I don't think there will be a job loss per se, because whatever routine work we are doing, so we employ, say, 100 people in a contact center, and they are answering the regular queries, and the bot is answering all the regular queries. Then what can the contact centers do? They can upgrade, they can do. There is a lot of creativity, there is content creation, and there is more value adding activities which machines can't do. And my sense is AI, if you look at the human intelligence and AI is far behind human intelligence. We can machines cannot ever compete with us for many reasons, because the machine is what we are creating, and what they can do is they can take a process, a repetitive process, and tirelessly they can solve it. They don't have any limitations, but that's about it. But instead of being people who are operating, we can operate the machines.
So you're saying basically anything which requires higher order cognitive thinking?
Yeah, we can upgrade to that level instead of doing the routine things like going to a factory and moving one piece to another piece and putting this there. the human workers can do better than that. They can actually innovate. They can work on some creative stuff, and right. So there's higher value adding activity we can migrate to.
Sure. Thanks. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Among, let's go to you and let's talk about Orange Shark, right? So you've been almost a serial entrepreneur.
Yes. For many years.
So what kind of triggered the idea of building Orange Shark, and what is so unique about what you're doing?
So we are three founders in the team, and it was my co-founder who came up with the idea actually. So he's from the hiring space. He's the one with industry expertise. Wishes us from the rest. Well, there are so many players. I think we're just going to step back, right? Everything will be done like from the freelance recruiter companies. They're going to interact with each other on the platform and to get things done. So I think automating the process is what sets us apart. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Gautam, no code has been an idea whose time has come, but when did you decide to,
So
what triggered the whole idea of building a no code platform?
a lot of frustration.
Okay. Tell us about it.
So we used to have a couple of products that were targeted for maritime and aviation industry, and but the products were never 100% fit when you move to the next customer. So we would go to the next customer, try to understand their requirements, go back and configure or customize the product as much as we could, and we thought that we understood the customer requirements very well. And then we would go back with a customized solution back to the customer, and we all know what happens next, right? So the customer would be like, this is not what I want, and all the positivity goes away. The excitement of creating something new or that innovation goes away. It becomes contractual. It becomes, I said this is where it's written. And we felt that we used to put in our heart and blood or sweat and blood into the code and build it and put all of that effort, and then we get looked at as somebody who's trying to cheat them or something like that, right? So it used to frustrate us a lot. The whole point of doing this business was to be able to delight the customers, but we were never able to achieve delight. At best they were satisfied. So we tried to understand, when we looked at that problem, what's causing this. In spite of the best of our efforts, it's essentially two things. One, the amount of time it actually takes to build a solution. We lose the momentum. So the thoughts change, the people change, and sometimes even the processes change. But the second most important thing is the people who understand the process, the domain, or their problems, they do not necessarily have the skills to be able to build the solution, which is the most important problem, which is why they're relying on some other person who has the skills but probably does not understand the problem. And we thought that, okay, if we are able to create a platform, our goal is to achieve customer delight. If we are able to create a platform and allow people who understand the problem, they will be able to in fact build much higher quality solutions as against a professional developer. And that's how it all started.
So are you going to make developers redundant?
Higher purpose.
Higher purpose. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's go back to you, Vamshi. So in terms of obviously all entrepreneurs by design have to be innovative, right? By choice, by design.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Right? So how do you keep that whole culture of innovation alive in your entity? How do you think about innovation, right? Do you build a roadmap, or how do you, for example, there's a young startup here which is out, at idea stage and is now trying to figure out how to build something, right? If there are any secret sauce or secret mantras you want to share?
I'm not sure if it is secret, but the way we looked at the problem is people are taking, say, 6 months, 1 year, say 2 years to develop a bot, and then once they have to change it, then again they are struggling. So just define the problem, like, can we make a conversational bot, can be a virtual agent like she's on Alexa, or a smart speaker, can you make it in a week? Can you make it in 3-4 days? Now people are spending a lot of time in data preparation, and then give an example. I think many of the people here can relate to it. Machine learning, you give examples and it recognizes something, then you again retrain it anywhere. I mean, anything can be achieved. You should believe in yourself. I mean, most of the problems, for example, AI is something I am speaking here, but most of the NLP algorithms or speech algorithms are invented in 1920s and 40s by funded research in Stanford, etc., etc. And actually that is what we are still using, because the computing power has enabled it to become commercial now. So, I mean, there are many things available outside openly by funded research, by universities, and a lot of technologies available. I think we just have to believe in ourselves and we have to aim as high as possible. I mean, at least we'll end up somewhere.
No, I think some great comments by all of you in terms of all of the solutions you've built have come from experiential learning, right? Some problem you've seen, the problem you've seen, the problem you've seen. And also I think the point you made about leveraging the resources out there to build on something which helps solve quicker, faster, more efficiently.
Yeah, correct. There's a lot of ecosystem, a lot of technology available, a lot of math available for everybody.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's go back. Thoughts on how to keep it, how to keep the culture of innovation alive, both in startups as well as in corporates, based on your experience.
So I'll just give our experience on how. So we started selling Quixie in February 2020, end of February 2020. I think within a week or two we realized that COVID is here. So the way we had to think and realign ourselves was something. Maybe I should not use these words referring to COVID, but it was a great learning experience ourselves in terms of how we had to be agile, switch ourselves, because we had a very clear laid out plan in terms of how we were going to execute over the next 6 months to 9 months, and we had to change it within a week. And we were totally clueless in the beginning, but the process actually made us as an organization very agile and nimble in terms of that we started believing that nothing that we are looking at is going, we cannot take anything for granted. So anything beyond a month is a plan that is a plan, but we keep reviewing very frequently as against creating very long fixed plans. So we keep ourselves very agile in our minds as well, that we should be able to change anything at any point of time. That as a, it has become one of the core values of our organizations, speed and being agile. And that has helped us continue to evolve as the situation unfolded. So when the Ukraine war happened, it actually didn't make much of an impact for us. So I can only speak from our experience. So I felt that maybe that could be useful to others.
So to innovate, you have to be agile. That's
100%.
In summary what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we absolutely believe in empowering our team, right? We want them to have the ability to come up with solutions. We want them to, take initiatives, right? I mean, that's the kind of culture we're building, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who talk to our customers, right? The job seekers, the companies, the freelance recruiters, day in, day out, right? Do you know what the problem is? That's how our, the work.
I think some great points there about ownership, how ownership, innovation requires ownership, not just at senior levels, but across the company. Thank you. Last comment before we wind up. How do we the culture of innovation alive?
Yeah, I think to keep the culture of innovation, I think we have to, as Sri Jayesh was mentioning, we have to get out of lot of predefined mental notions, like certain education is required, certain so and so is required. We should try to identify the people. There are people who have different skill sets or attitudes or approaches. There is a small set of people who like to work on original things, who like to create something, and who feel good about doing something innovative. So when you get people inside the organization, it's very important to get that kind of attitude or that kind of predisposition, because rest of the skills can be trained easily. The most difficult thing is what motivates the other person. If the other person is motivated by innovation and creativity, that is the person you get inside. I think that solves majority of the issue for the startups. But when you grow into a large organization, definitely there are different challenges in large organization, because large organizations needs processes and people have to have compliance. But for startups, I think that should work. There may be many things, but that is what...
Sure. So essentially you are saying hire for attitude, don't worry about knowledge and skills, those
Correct,
can be
correct. Yeah, not on the CV, hire for the fitment, and whether they are happy doing this, and tell them clearly this is what we are doing, and we will only be happy when you really achieve something, solve a real problem.
Sure.
Not the time or not the process or something like that.
So I think I can see the time is an indicator there saying time up. We can go on because so many other aspects of innovation which I wanted to touch on. But thank you, Vamshi. Thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Among. And
thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
So to celebrate our next segment, now I invite Ms. Deepthi Rawla, CEO of WeHub, to moderate a session bringing into the forefront journey of women entrepreneurs from urban to rural.
Nice chair.
అనగానే ఫస్ట్ మనకు మైండ్లో వచ్చే థాట్ ఏంటిది? విజయ్, టెల్ మీ, వాట్ డస్ అ ఉమెన్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ టు యూ మీన్? సుజయ్, వాట్ డస్ ఉమెన్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్షిప్ ఎంటైల్? Direct question. No, what does, when I say somebody is a woman entrepreneur, మనకు ఫస్ట్ మైండ్లోకి ఏమొస్తుంది? వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు? సుజయ్. By the way, Sujay was my first boss in government, so it only makes sense. So చెప్పండి. Women entrepreneur anagane?
Yeah, I think I'm speaking just because she put me. I think you would have little more challenges or compounding challenges. So I think it makes sense to treat that subject as a separate subject, and that's why I think we have WeHub, which takes into account the fact that, of course, as an entrepreneur, you have challenges, but in addition to the fact that you're a woman and leading an organization, I think that makes the problem even more bigger problem. I think that's where that problem statement called women entrepreneurship exists, and therefore WeHub. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujay. Thank you. MSR is like, okay. So, చాలాసార్లు మనం women entrepreneur అనగానే సుజయ్ చెప్పినట్టు చాలా ఛాలెంజెస్ ఉంటాయి ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఆర్గనైజేషన్ రన్ చేయడం కానివ్వండి. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ అయితే ఉమెన్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ అనగానే మనకు వచ్చే థాట్ ఏంటిదంటే, జనరలీ ఇంట్లో ఏదో చిన్నగా చేసుకుంటున్నాము, దాన్ని బయటకు తీసుకొద్దామని ఒక మైండ్ సెట్లు ఉంటారు చాలామంది, అవునా కదా? ఉమెన్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ అనగానే నోన్ టు అన్నోన్. ఎస్. నెక్స్ట్ ఒకటి వచ్చేసి ఏంటంటే, మనకి కాన్వర్జేషన్ చాలాసార్లు సీరియస్నెస్ ఉండకపోవచ్చు ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్లో అనేది సెకండ్ ఛాలెంజ్ మనం చాలాసార్లు చూస్తాం. మూడోది ఏదైతే ఉందో, ట్రెడిషనల్ సెక్టర్స్లో ఉంటారు, బయట మనకు కనిపించరు అనేది మూడో ప్రాబ్లం. నాలుగోది వచ్చేసి ఉమెన్ని ఎంపవర్ చేయడానికే మనకు ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్షిప్ కావాలనేది నాలుగో విషయం వస్తుంది, రైట్? సో ఎంపవర్మెంట్ అనేది ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్షిప్ ఇవి చాలా ఇంటర్చేంజబుల్గా యూజ్ చేస్తాం అన్నట్టు. సో ఇప్పుడు మన దగ్గర ఈజ్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్షిప్ రియలీ ఎంపవర్మెంట్ అనే ఒక టాపిక్ మీద మనం ఇప్పుడు విల్ టాక్ టు 3 different entrepreneurs, and each of them will talk about how being an entrepreneur and using innovation as a way to వచ్చిండ్రు. తన పక్కన మనకి లావణ్య అని ఉన్నారు. లావణ్య is a very famous entrepreneur in my view. So she works in the field of nutraceuticals, and Shireen is an entrepreneur who has founded Kinderpass. So Shireen, what are you doing? What does innovation actually mean to you? It's not a panel discussion, so I will go fast.
Sure.
Yeah. So ఇన్నోవేషన్ అంటే ఏంది, విమెన్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్షిప్ అనే యాంగిల్లో ఇన్నోవేషన్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఏంది?
Sure. Before that, how many parents in the room? Parents in the room? That's it? Okay, wrong audience to this question, I think. How many of you have been around children, right? So if you're a parent, you know it's one of the most important jobs of your life, correct? Imagine walking out of the hospital with a baby, not knowing what to do for the next 15 years. You have targets of 15 years, but you have no way to achieve those targets. That's what we are trying to do. KinderPass is a digital child years in reach. And it's a long way coming from when last year when I was speaking to investors, they were like, అసలు ఇది మార్కెట్ ఉందా అండి, పేరెంట్స్కి అవసరమా, అందరికీ తెలుసు కదా పిల్లల్ని ఎలా పెంచారో, మనం పెంచలేదా, వాళ్ళు పెంచేసుకుంటారు. బట్ టుడేస్ పేరెంట్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్, మిలేనియల్స్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్. దే వాంట్ టు నో ద సైన్స్ బిహైండ్ వాట్ దే ఆర్ ఆస్క్డ్ టు డూ అండ్ వై దే వాంట్ టు డూ ఇట్, రైట్? మనం ఈ రోజులో స్విగ్గీ, కల్ట్ ఫిట్ వీటన్నిటి మీద డిపెండ్ అవుతున్న రోజుల్లో పేరెంటింగ్కి దేర్ ఇస్ లిటరలీ నో రిసోర్స్ దట్ ఇస్ science back that they can fall back on. That is where we want to bring innovation, to make it affordable and accessible for parents across the globe. Our dream is big. We want to hit 10 million parents in India alone by 2025. And that's really where we want innovation to come in. Multilingual experience, using tech to scale, making healthcare seamless for anybody in the country, irrespective of whether they are literate, whether they speak English or don't speak English, whether they have extreme smartphones or not. So our app is on Geo feature phones, where parents in the lowest economic strata can access basic information on vaccination, on health records and other things. So that is really what we are trying to do. And I'm proud, also extremely proud to announce that we are 80% women in our team, 18 people team, 2 founders, both women. So I think if anybody asks me why women and innovation, we've been doing it from birth. We've been doing it for generations altogether, right? Ask a mother if she has 3 ingredients in the kitchen to cook up a meal and she will do it for you. Ask the dad, I'm not sure what he'll come up with, but he'll probably pick up the phone and order. So innovation is in our bloodstream. We just need to take it to businesses, and that's what we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Shireen. So, yep. Next, we found out what exactly the ingredients actually work for human body well. So that's when we figured out coconut. Coconut has an incredible ingredient which is called as an aloric, which is available only in the mother's milk, palm tree and coconut. As we all are outgrown with the age of mother's milk, we have only left with the palm tree and coconut. So palm tree is not a healthier option, so we actually procured the entire lauric element from coconut, and we made a product which took us a good sweet time of 24 months with the top 4 scientists who are in likes of Nestle and PNG, and also the one who made yoga bars and all. I think people can relate to it. So these 4 scientists helped us in the last 18 to 24 months to get this product out. So and when I talk about innovation, we feel that we are the part of it, as we are the world's first to work on this particular element called as an aloric to make a shot out of it. So every time I come for an event, I generally check in the Google whether there is a product again, which working in the same lauric element. But I would say that still no one could crack it. We are the one who innovated, who worked in the segment of a science and nutraceutical, which helps overall for the well-being of millennials to get a healthier and beautiful in the most 100% safe and natural way. So we cracked a lauric composition which we filed for an 8 patents. So for us, innovations comes from within, from our kitchen, as you mentioned, and also from the old age Ayurveda. We combined it with the science, and today we are here to celebrate the women entrepreneurship. Yeah. Thank you. Now we have Rajamani Garu. So Rajamani Garu, మీరు యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు ఒక ఏఎన్ఎం కదా, ఏఎన్ఎంగా వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. మీరు ఎక్కడ వర్క్ చేస్తారు, అండ్ మీరు అసలు ఒక బిజినెస్ పెట్టుకోవాలని ఒక థాట్తో వచ్చిండ్రు కదా, సో దాని గురించి ఒక్కసారి చెప్తారా? మీరు ఏడికెళ్ళి ఏంటిది, మీ బిజినెస్ ఎందుకు పెడదాం అనుకుంటారు? మంచి జాబ్ ఉన్నది కదా, మళ్ళీ బిజినెస్ ఎందుకు? ఒక్క 2 నిమిషాలు దాని మీద.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. నా పేరు రాజమణి రజనీ గారు. అంటే హస్బెండ్ పేరు ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నా అంటే, ఆఫ్టర్ మ్యారేజ్ బిఫోర్ మ్యారేజ్ అని ఉంటుంది కదా. రోజు ఇంటి దగ్గర ఇంట్లో పనులన్నీ చేసుకొని స్కూల్కి వెళ్ళిపోతారు పిల్లలు. తర్వాత ఖాళీగానే ఉంటున్నా. జాబ్ ట్రయల్స్ అంటే ప్రతి వాళ్ళకి, చదువుకున్న వాళ్ళందరికీ జాబ్స్ రావాలంటే కష్టమే. బట్ వన్ థింగ్, నాకు ఒక జాబ్ వచ్చింది. చల్వాయ్ బాయ్స్ హాస్టల్లో ఏఎన్ఎంగా నేను వర్క్ చేస్తున్నాను. నాది 4 hours వర్క్ అవర్ ఉంటుంది. మిగతా టైంలో ఖాళీగా ఉంటున్నా. అంటే సీజనల్లో మాకు వర్షాకాలంలో మష్రూమ్స్ వస్తాయి. అవి నాకు వాటి గురించి ఎక్కువ తెలీదు. అంటే మా వాళ్ళని అడిగాను నేను, మష్రూమ్స్ ఇవి ఏంటి ఇట్లా ఉన్నాయి, చాలా మంచిగా ఉంటాయి అనేసి మా వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు నాకు. అంటే ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళు, వర్షాకాలంలో మాత్రమే వస్తాయి అవి. ఇవి ఇంత బాగున్నాయి, నేను హెల్త్ డిపార్ట్మెంటు, హెల్తీ ఫుడ్ కదా బాగుంటుంది అనుకొని నేను వీ హ్యాప్ వాళ్ళు నాకు కాల్ చేసి అడిగారు. అంటే వీ హ్యాప్కి ఎలా వచ్చానంటే ఐటీడీఏ తరపున మేడం వాళ్ళు అక్కడికి వచ్చారు. వచ్చినప్పుడు సరేలే నేను కూడా చేద్దాము, ఖాళీగా ఉంటున్నాను కదా మిగతా టైంలో అనేసి నేను నేమ్ ఇచ్చాను. అందులో నన్ను సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు. అయితే కొంచెం రిస్క్గానే ఉంటుంది. అంటే అవి ఒక 2 రోజుల తర్వాత అయితే పాడైపోతాయి ఈ లోపే. అదే వీటిని ఎట్లా చేసుకోవాలి అంటే పచ్చడి కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మామిడికాయ పచ్చళ్ళు ఎలా చేస్తారో అట్లా పాడవకుండా కూడా మనం మష్రూమ్స్ని చేసుకోవచ్చు. చేస్తున్నాము మా దగ్గర. మేము ఎప్పటికి చేస్తామంటే కాకపోతే మాకు ఇంత అమౌంట్ కావాలి కదా మేడం, మరి ఇట్లా వీ హ్యాప్ నుంచి మమ్మల్ని చేశారు కదా, బ్యాంక్ లోన్ మాకు ఇవ్వగలుగుతారా అని అంటే తప్పకుండా ఇస్తామమ్మా అని మేడం వాళ్ళు మాకు చెప్పారు. దాని ద్వారా మేము ఇక్కడ దాకా రావాల్సి వచ్చింది. అన్నీ చేస్తున్నాము. కష్టం లేకుండా ఏది కష్టే ఫలి అంటారు కదా, అట్లా మేము కూడా చేస్తున్నాము ఆల్రెడీ. ఇక అందరికీ న్యూట్రిషన్ ఫుడ్ అందరికీ ఇప్పుడు ఇంతకుముందు జొన్న రొట్టెలు మన తాత కాలంలో తినేవాళ్ళం, సేమ్ మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడు కూడా తింటున్నారు. బీపీలు షుగర్లు కాబట్టి ఎప్పుడైనా అన్నీ బాగానే ఉంటాయి. ఎప్పుడు ఎవరం ఎట్లుంటామో తెలియదు కదా. కాబట్టి అందరికీ న్యూట్రిషన్ ఫుడ్ మా ద్వారా. నేను ఒక దగ్గర పని చేస్తున్నానంటే వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఎంత వర్క్ చేసినా కానీ అమ్మో సారేమని అంటారేమో అంటే నేను చేస్తున్నా కాబట్టి వార్డెన్ ఉంటారు, ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఉంటారు, వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఎప్పటికీ చేతులు కట్టుకొని ఎంత వర్క్ చేసినా కానీ ఒకరి కింద పని చేసిన లాగానే ఉంటుంది. అదే నేను బిజినెస్ చేసుకుంటే నాకు జాబ్ పరంగా శాలరీ వస్తుంది, ప్లస్ నేను ఇంకొక నలుగురికి అవకాశం ఇచ్చిన లాగా ఉంటుంది కదా అనే ఉద్దేశంగా మా వాళ్ళు కూడా నాకు సపోర్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. అదేవిధంగా వీ హ్యాప్ వాళ్ళ ద్వారా కూడా నేను ఇంకా కొంచెం డెవలప్ చేసుకుంటున్నా. ఇంకా కావాలి అనుకొని నేను ఇక్కడ దాకా వచ్చాను. నాకు వీ హ్యాప్ వాళ్ళు చాలా హెల్ప్ చేస్తున్నారు. దాని ద్వారా
థ్యాంక్ యూ. సో
థ్యాంక్ యూ ఈ అవకాశం ఇచ్చినందుకు.
సో అదే టాపిక్ మీద సో మేడం మీరు రాజమణి గారు మీది మష్రూమ్స్ చూడడానికి ఎడికి పోయినరు? ఇది ఫస్ట్ చేద్దాం అనుకున్నప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఫారెస్ట్ లో చూసిండ్రు, మీ వాళ్ళందరూ చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి. అది బిజినెస్ ఎట్లుంటుందని ఎక్కడికి పోయిన మీరు ఒకసారి చెప్పండి. మీరు అసలు ఆ బిజినెస్
ఖమ్మంలో కావ్య మేడం అనేసి తరుణ్ సార్ చెప్పారు, అక్కడికి వెళ్ళండి అమ్మా అని చెప్పారు. చెప్తే నేను సంక్రాంతి ముందు వెళ్ళాను. అక్కడికి వెళ్తే కొంచెం ప్రాబ్లంగానే అనిపించింది. అంటే కొన్ని పాడవడం, మేడం ఇట్లా మీరే ఇప్పుడే తను ఒక చాలా సంవత్సరాల నుండి చేస్తున్నారట, మరి ఇట్లా అయితే ఎట్లా మేడం అంటే లేదమ్మా కష్టపడకుండా ఏది రాదు, నేను కూడా బిజినెస్ లాస్ అయింది నాకు. కానీ అంటే వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పుడు మన కరోనా వల్ల కూడా బిజినెస్ చాలా మందికి లాస్ అయింది కదా. ఇప్పుడు న్యాచురల్గా వచ్చినవి కూడా కొన్ని పాడవుతాయి. మనం టైంకి అవి మంచిగా చేయకపోతే ఖరాబ్ అవుతాయి. అవి ఖరాబ్ కాకుండా మనం తినే వరకు తింటాము. అవి ఒకవేళ మార్కెట్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎట్లా చేసుకుంటారు మార్కెట్, మీరు సిటీ కాదు కదా అని నన్ను మేడం అడిగారు. కావ్య మేడం ఖమ్మంలో ఉంటారు మేడం. అంటే విలేజ్లో వాళ్ళకి అంగళ్ళు ఉంటాయి. ప్రతి రోజుకు ఒక వారంకి ఒకసారి ఒక ఊర్లో అంగడి పెడతారు. అక్కడ ఉన్నాయి చుట్టుపక్కల మాకు హాస్టళ్ళు కూడా ఉన్నాయి, అక్కడ కూడా మేము ఇచ్చేయచ్చు. అంటే నేను ఫెసిలిటీస్ చూసుకున్నాను. అక్కడ అంత ఖరాబ్ అయినాయి కదా, మరి నేను ఎలా బిజినెస్ చేయగలుగుతా, ఏదో వచ్చిన జీతంతో బతికేయచ్చు కదా అనేసి అనుకోకుండా నలుగురికి ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. హాస్టల్ పిల్లలు న్యూట్రిషన్ కంపల్సరీ వాళ్ళకి అవసరం, ఎదిగే పిల్లలు కాబట్టి. అందుకోసమని హాస్టల్లో కానీ అంగడిలో అంటే పెద్దవాళ్ళు అందరూ తీసుకుంటారు. హాస్టల్స్ ఉన్నాయి చుట్టుపక్కల. ఒకవేళ అంతకు ఇంకా మిగిలిపోయిందంటే నేను మామిడికాయ పచ్చడి టైపు మష్రూమ్ పచ్చళ్ళు కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు కదా అన్న ఉద్దేశంగా మేడం వాళ్ళకి నేను ఈ విషయం చెప్పాను. చెప్తే సరే అమ్మా మేము హెల్ప్ చేస్తాము అనేసి అన్నారు. అట్లా నేను కొంచెం ముందుకు వచ్చాను.
థ్యాంక్ యూ రాజమణి. సో ఎందుకు నేను ఆ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగినా అంటే ఇప్పుడు తను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసిన దాంట్లో ఫస్ట్ టైం ఏం చేసిందంటే మార్కెట్ రీసెర్చ్ చేసింది. సో ఏదైతే మనం ఈ జర్నీ ఆఫ్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్షిప్ ఆర్ లైక్ ఇంక్యుబేషన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ అని మనం పెద్ద పెద్ద జార్గన్ వాడతాం చూసినాం కదా, సో అవన్నీ కూడా తను చేసింది. ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే మార్కెట్ రీసెర్చ్ చేసింది. తర్వాత పోయేసి టెక్నికల్ సర్వే. అంటే కావ్య ఈజ్ ఆల్సో వీ హబ్ ఆంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్. ఆమెను కూడా మనము ఖమ్మంలో మనమే సెటప్ చేయించినాం. ఈమె అక్కడికి పోయి కూర్చొని ఒక 2 రోజులు నేర్చుకొని ప్రోడక్ట్ డైవర్సిఫికేషన్ మీద అండ్ ఆల్సో ప్రైస్ అనాలిసిస్ మీద తను నేర్చుకొని వచ్చింది. మూడోది వచ్చేసి ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు షీఈస్ గోయింగ్ బ్యాక్ టు హర్ విలేజ్, చల్వాయి విలేజ్కి వెళ్ళేసి అక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఆమె ఒక చిన్న ఎస్ఎంఈ యూనిట్ పెట్టుకొని ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ క్రియేట్ చేద్దామని ట్రై చేస్తుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ రాజమణి స్టోరీ. ఇప్పుడు ఆమె దగ్గర ఇన్నోవేషన్ ఏమి లేదు యాక్చువల్లీ చెప్పాలంటే. బట్ ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే ఆమె కమ్యూనిటీలో ఉన్న నీడ్స్తోని ఫర్ హర్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ హిర్ హర్ ఫస్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ క్రియేట్ చేసినాక దాన్ని ప్రాఫిటబుల్ చేయడంలో ఆమె ఇన్నోవేటివ్నెస్ ఏదైతుందో అది పనికి వస్తుంది. అది క్రియేట్ చేసి వెన్ ఇట్ బికమ్స్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ ద కమ్యూనిటీ అండ్ ఇట్ బికమ్స్ ప్రాఫిటబుల్, దట్ ఈస్ వెన్ వీ విల్ యాక్చువల్లీ welcome her and also support her in being more innovative in her processes. Antegani we are trying to be more innovative in making sure she becomes an entrepreneur. But whereas I think Lavanya, you want to talk a little bit more about how we worked with you, or what is it that you actually cheptara mala meer inga cheptara
లేదు
okay undandi.
Approaching. If we have a right business model, if we have a numbers in hand, the platform is right there. All you need to do is get the numbers right, get the financial model right, business model right, then the platform is right there. So obviously, when we wanted to go into an offline segment, I come from a 14 years of experience in marketing, but completely on an online segment. So I wanted to get an exposure in the offline segment. So Deepthi and team actually helped us to get connected to Sid Farms founder, and also many other offline segment mentors, which helped us, which we are still evaluating. So that is one of the major thing. Getting the mentors on board is one of the best thing what we feel. And the second thing is thinking that okay, every entrepreneur is same, though it is called as an V-Hub. They always say that we have to have the business model and the financial model right to go there and get it. So they help us in connects, I would say that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, time so we'll take it. I think we are way over time. We'll take it. So sorry, Shirin. Yeah. So thank you so much for giving us time, Shanta, and wishing everybody a wonderful World Creativity and Innovation Day. Thank you.
So Telangana, so the TCD incentives have been launched last year under the government order, and a certain corpus fund was allocated, realizing the fact that there was financial difficulties the rural innovators or the startups with rural impact have been facing, and these incentives today will be given under 3 different categories: seed, prototype, and pilot grants for the selected innovators and startups. And now,
so much, Pranay. Good evening, one and all. Wishing you all a happy World Innovation and Creativity Day. Innovation is not limited to the boundaries. It doesn't have any boundaries. No region focus, no age, no gender, no profession as well. Through Intinta, take through us the whole evaluation process. Brigadier Ganesham sir from Palas Rujna, Umakant sir from ACIC CBIT, Athira from Rich, Simran from T-Works, Halim from T-Works, Mansi from T-Hub, Nitin from Navam Foundation, Vijay from AgHub. Thank you so much for all your contribution and your time, your inputs, especially your time. Your time is really received 136 applications. From that, we are awarding 6 in each category. First category is prototype category, second is pilot category, third one is seed category. Under prototype category, we are giving 1 lakh prize money to each idea, each innovator or each startup, I would say. The first one is Tangamani K, requesting you to please come on the dais. Samyukta Penta, Lingam B. All these 3 are professors from KG Reddy College of Engineering. 3 from Khammam, solar control integrated pest management system which she invented. Ashok Gorre, multi-purpose utility vehicle, he's from Suryapet. Ravi Kiran, who built blind eye from Adilabad. So these are the another 3 who built mechanical control turn on and off machine valve system. Please come on the dais, sir. Dr. Haimaraju, I request K.N. Rao, who is representing Avantra Health Technologies Private Limited, to please come on the dais. Yes. Pongathe Ramaswamy, Cryogen Arogyam Biotech Private Limited. Ma'am, please come on the dais. Vishal Singhal, Temperate Technologies Private Limited. You to please come and receive your sanction letter, ma'am. Anjaya Injupuri. Anjay Garu invented multi-purpose machine for weeding and spraying. He is from Karimnagar. Anjay Garu Randi, please. Anjay Injupuri. Sorry, Venkatesh. Uday Bhaskar, who invented pneumatic conveyor from Medtech Malkajgiri. Please come. Under seed category, we are awarding 2 lakhs per innovator or per startup. Thank you all the dignitaries. Thank you so much for doing the honors. Congratulations once again to all the winners, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us today for this event. My name is Rashmi Pimple. I am the CEO of RICH, Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, which is one of the ecosystem partners of Government of Telangana. We are also designated as the Hyderabad Science and Technology Cluster by the Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India at the center. I have with me today Dr. Vikas Sahu, who is the founder of Adia Health, and Varshita Reddy, who is the founder of Viva Life. So I would like to start with asking them to give a quick introduction about themselves, and then I'll ask them a few specific questions. Over to you, Vikas.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Vikas. So I'm a dentist by profession, and then did my Medtech in biomedical engineering from IIT Hyderabad. And currently I am working with CI along as a incubation manager there. My startup is Adia Health Private Limited, which is developing a solutions for dentists which will help them to do root canal treatment more easily. So that's our startup, and we are being very much supported by the RICH, IIIT Hyderabad, T-Hub, and all the hospital associated who have helped us for doing our clinical studies. So that's it.
Thank you, Vikas. Varshita, would you like to introduce yourself?
So, good evening to one and all present over here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So, about myself, I'm a 21-year-old biotech graduate turned into an Medtech entrepreneur. We have built a compact, portable and economical non-invasive glucometer for diabetic individuals where they need not to prick their fingers or get blood out of their body to monitor their blood glucose levels. So currently it's in a preclinical evaluation stage. Yeah.
So thank you for the introductions. Vikas and Varshita, we all know that every entrepreneur has some starting point where he or she decides that, okay, this is what I want to do, and now is the time that I want to do it. So what is that in your life that when you decided that I want to go with this idea and I want to take it forward? It would be really interesting to know your thoughts on that.
So basically, I'll say that my journey for this innovation and entrepreneurship started in this room, T-Hub, when in late 2019 they have a Met for Dev hackathon, and where we understood like innovation and entrepreneurship and something we can bring some solutions to the market. And being a clinician and a technologist, I was very keen to do this kind of stuff. And that's how it all started.
So coming to myself, during my second year,
every now and then a startup, an entrepreneur or startup requires some form of assistance, some help from the ecosystem. And we've seen that Telangana is one of the leaders when it comes to innovation ecosystem. I would like you to say a few lines on, how this aid program has helped you, more for, the entrepreneurs in the audience to know that this is the assistance that is available in this ecosystem, and this is the place that they can seek help, they can come to us and, look for assistance.
So basically I will say that this program, Rich Aid program, was very helpful for us. Looking at the support they have, they connected us with a lot of clinical hospitals where we could do a lot of our clinical design studies and optimize our product. That was one of the biggest support. Apart from that, they helped us with connecting with the regulatory consultants, and which helped us to understand that being a medical technology device, how we have to make our system or do our protocols, write our protocols, so that we can cross those regulatory hurdles which are, we'll not say hurdles, we'll say protocols which we have to fulfill to get the product into the market. Apart from that, a lot of mentors for go-to-market strategy, where we can segment our product or position our product, who can be our target audience, whom we can approach to sell the product. So lots of mentorship was been given under this program, and that helped us a lot to reach at a stage where we are at a test manufacturing stage, and maybe within 6 months we'll launch our product in the market.
That's great.
So coming to us, as I mentioned earlier, and we are in the preclinical evaluation stage, right? We never knew whom to connect and whom to choose as clinical trials partner, or who will be helping us through all the protocols, as Dr. Vikas said. Rich helped us to connect with the key people, who helps in the clinical trials, or they connected us to a lot of hospitals to conduct our trials and all. This network has been helping us a lot from the day we joined in the Rich Aid program until now, and we would love to engage in the future also.
Thank you. So just for the benefit of the audience, I would quickly take a minute to explain what this program is. Last year, we launched the program called Acceleration Initiative for Diagnostics, AID program, wherein over the years we realized that startups face very unique problems when it comes to Medtech, or have a screening jury who selects the best startups. We are in the second cohort running currently, wherein we have selected 8 startups, and we are trying to help them with connections to clinical validation, hospitals, testing, and prototyping. So that's about the AID program. I would again like to come back to you just to know quickly about what are your plans thinking ahead for, say, next 6 months or for a year, or what is your big vision for your startup?
So the big vision for my startup is like there should be no root canal failure while doing when a dentist treat a patient. So in that way, there's a discrete problem which we identify is the challenge of visualization, and which we are solving with our product. Now 6 months down the line, we'll be able to complete our clinical studies to validate the product and do a market study that is this product actually working in a way it should work, and how the people are responding to this product. And in a way, after this market study, definitely we'll take support from the ecosystem again to raise some funds and go and for mass manufacturing and scale up and expand and sell the product in the pan-India zone. And later, in 3 to 5 years, we'll try to see ourselves in a global level.
So when it comes to Viva Life, our short-term vision is to complete our clinical trials and licenses done, and we'll be launching product by January 2023. And we have a target of reaching at least 7.5 lakh diabetic individuals by end of 2024. That's what we have in the long term.
Okay, and all the best for you, for your vision and your goals. Since we are short on time, one last question to both.
And there are a lot of support system which is available in our ecosystem. We just have to associate with the people and ask for help. If they are ready to help also, and definitely slowly, step by step, we'll reach our goal.
Thank you, Vikas.
So one, be ready for risk taking, and before selling your solution, sell your problem. It connects a lot with everyone.
Thank you, Vikas and Varshita, and all the very best in your journey ahead. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Rashmi, for that session, and to the entrepreneurs also. So it takes immense support and multiple iterations, right, to bring an innovation.
I have a presentation, so I'll sit here. Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for hosting us today on the World Creativity and Innovation Day. I think it may, as we have had talks before, we are part of an ecosystem that is developed by the new state, Telangana, and it's shaping up very well. So each of the ecosystem partners has its place and they contribute in a certain way. So now TWorks is one of us on the map on the innovation ecosystem, who we are, and by stating who we are, what we are not. We are not necessarily an incubation. We are not necessarily a co-working space. T-Hub is for some entrepreneurs, some hobbyists, some companies, prototyping could become a small part of their business journey, or it could become the vital part of their business journey depending on who they are. So in prototyping or making is all about failing. You make something and it doesn't work, and you improve upon it, it doesn't work again, and that's when you start building the prototype. So what happens is on the open source and create a product, launch it, and get the feel of the customer, then improve upon it, raise money, Series A, Series B, and then go to the more sophisticated softwares. But when it comes to the fee which they charge for every sourcing that you do, and you come to TWorks, you don't have to pay. So that kind of brings the barrier down a bit. Then we allow for a lot of collaboration. We have access to many times because that's the only way we believe this can be achieved. And there are other areas where we allow for talent development, incubation to some extent where it is required, and funding as well. This is coming up next to the T-Hub Phase 2, and we are starting right now in July with 12 crore worth equipment and going up to 40 by end of the year, and if things work out well, in another 2 years we will add another 70 crore worth equipment. First, when we say 3D printers, low end, high end, mid end, all the way to the high end, wherein you have metallic 3D printer, that the parts that can go into the rockets or into the airplanes or even some sophisticated equipment, and then 3D printers which make tissue with the building, test it, put it as, make it, like for example, you want to make a drone ground up. You can actually design the wing blades on a software, get it fabricated if you want to do a prototype in a 3D printer, then the rest of the entire in PCB, first in plastics and composites, CNC pipe bending machine, like for example EV startups, all of them require this, metrology, finish shop, and so on. And a garage bay wherein you can actually bring in a bus or a helicopter and actually put together an air taxi or something like that. 110 products, parts, prototypes, helping about 150 different kind of makers, small, medium, and so on, entrepreneurs. And we have also have a wing for converting your idea into a patent, and we actually have a legal team on board which actually helps you 45 kilometers now, and then it will be about 100 kilometers. Then seed dropper, wherein, you know, I think Marut guys have used it from us. This is Shrija. We work very closely with various business, with the government of Telangana pitching in, agriculture university pitching in, land and all that. This is a toy which where the entrepreneur teaches. I think it came from TSIC, I think, as a lead. On is from Karimnagar. They are a set of 100 people, artisans who do this. We are famous for this silver filigree, time up. So
compared with startups and innovators and how the support is being given by T-Works. Moving on, we have Entrepreneur Talks, journey of 2 startups which have been supported by Emerging Technologies Wing, which is a direct wing of Government of Telangana. And now I call upon Mr. Bhargava Rao, Business Development Leader from TraceX Technologies Private Limited, to share quickly on the startup and the support that his startup has been receiving from the ecosystem.
Sir,
Good evening. Thank you one and all for being here. Thanks TSIC for giving us the opportunity to present ourselves. I am from TraceX. We are one of the first company started in 2019 into blockchain powered technology leveraging in agri companies, agri startups. So there's a lot of counterfeiting seeds that is happening across India, and we are one of the companies where we are working deeply with the farmers, with the distributors, with the manufacturers. We are trying to aggregate all of them under the platform where TraceX is being used to identify spurious seeds, to eliminate from the market, so that genuine seeds are practices being involved at HackHub. So with this, we are able to make a better product which we can go out and sell to the private companies. So at the end of the day, all startups want to be profitable. So this journey with AgHub and Professor Jaishankar, Telangana State Agriculture University, has helped us develop a blockchain leverage agnostic across the length and breadth of the country, identifying the right companies who are here in endeavoring in the technology agri space and giving us the opportunity. So this has been crucial for us, and we have also, with this innovation, we have also raised a round of funding from a team of 6 to we have come to a team of 35 in the past 6 months. So I would like to take this opportunity and present TraceX before all of you.
Thank you, Bhargav Rao. Moving on, we have Mr. Neelansh Kamboj, Application Engineer Business Team from Nebula Innovations.
Thanks a lot, Pranay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Neelansh from a company called Nebula Innovations. We are basically a company, we are basically tech heads who are using artificial intelligence to solve the grassroots problems of agriculture. So we are using emerging technologies like machine learning and AI to assay the quality of crops that any farmer is selling or any company is buying. So we started with a team of 3 here in Hyderabad only, and I would like to take this stage to thank the administration, government of Telangana, for their constant support, because with the help of Agricultural Marketing Department Telangana, we rolled out our first MVP product. We tested out in 2 locations back in 2017, and cut to today, with the constant support, we are present in more than 250 locations and serving more than 9 geographies. So this growth has been entirely possible with the help of all the stakeholders in this Agritech ecosystem, Telangana being one of the agricultural capitals of India. And recently we have also engaged with IT&C department under a program called NEGPA, Emerging Governance in Agriculture, to give a fair level playing field to the farmers of the state and eventually to farmers of the country to not get
Thank you, Neelansh, for that. And often we hear that, or we have a misconception, right, that innovation as a concept is only centered or is only owned by people who study in private schools or people who are in here cities, right? It might not go transcend beyond the boundaries. But that is something that, Telangana innovation ecosystem has been able to achieve from the time it's formed, right? How do we get this concept disseminated across the state of Telangana through multiple programs? And we are elated to let you know that right now, as we speak today, there are a couple of awareness sessions on innovation happening across the 33 districts, in the districts like Karimnagar, Bhadradri, Kothagudem, Adilabad. So as a part of the celebrations, 120 degree colleges, 60 polytechnic colleges and ecosystem enablers hosted sessions across all the 33 districts of Telangana. To name few of the institutions would be SR Engineering College or Mahatma Gandhi University in Nalgonda, Jyotishmati College, all of these colleges. And the idea is only to ensure that this is a celebration of creativity and innovation. Why not everybody be a part of it, right? If we are even endorsing the concept of inclusivity, and few glimpses from where we're doing it, and even some of the places we have ensured that the district science officers, who are the direct administrative people who go and speak about the innovation, because they've been seeing it in a very, very close manner than us who are situated right here, because all of these administrative officials across 33 districts are sensitized on what is innovation and how do you take it forward. So that's a quick glimpse on the sessions that have been happening from the morning and are still continuing to happen. Yeah, it's one of the IT towers that we have, and great. So interesting. So again, reminding what's the theme for the 2022 World Creativity Innovation Day: collaboration. And how we doing it? Collaborating for a sustainable impact. And how do we do that? Bringing together the ecosystem or whatever programs that individuals give away the closing remarks.
Thank you. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and compliments and best wishes for the World Creativity and Innovation Day. I think when we talk about us as even children, right? When we were growing up, our parents told us, eat this, this is good for you. Right? We came into school, learn this, this is good for you. When you went to college, people said, learn this, and this will come in the question paper, right? But when you go for your first job, what do they think? Socho, think for yourself. And that is the importance of creativity and innovation. And it could not have been a better day and a better place to celebrate it than over here, where we had a complete plethora of all the ecosystem partners who have been associated with innovation in the state itself, coming together, talking about the various schemes that they have, the various opportunities that they have, so that all of us can benefit from it. Mr. Jayesh Ranjan in the beginning itself spoke about how the state actually focuses on innovation. And I think today, if you look at it, innovation is one of the key things which differentiates Telangana from other states. Though it's only just 7.5 years or slightly more than that, but I think as far as innovation goes, this state is much, much ahead of most of the other states. So I think all of the innovators here in this room, you deserve a very good clap, so please clap for yourselves. The ecosystem can provide you a lot of things, and all the partners, be it T-Hub, We-Hub, Rich or T-Work, spoke about what they can bring onto the table. Task is not into incubation, Task is not into funding, but Task is into creating an entrepreneurial mindset. I think which is where the whole thing should start. Whether you want to become an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur, it is simplifying lives. That is what our focus has been. How do you ensure that you are able to create, look at problems? See, basically what happens with us technology guys is we put an Arduino, we put sensors, we get the technology in place, and then we start looking at solutions, right? Problems, sorry, right? But problems are the ones, and in fact, I was extremely happy to note that, one of the young innovator who spoke about her diabetes itself and how she, because of the problem she had, came up with a solution for it. I think that's one thing as educators, as people of the ecosystem, we need to keep in mind is how do you ensure that people actually look at this thing and ensure that problems need solutions, and that is what should be done, not create a solution then start looking for problems. So I think that's one thing which is most important, that we as innovators need to do it. Creativity and innovation is only good if it is good for the people at large, at the community at large. And that's what our Honorable CM Sir also has been always spoken about. Technology, innovation has to be for the benefit of the others. And that is where probably the, the checks that have been given out, the certificates that have been given out are given out to people who have actually worked in that space. So I think all the winners today, can I have a round of applause for them too, please? I think you have started the journey, but the journey has to continue, right? At the end, I would like to thank each and every one of you also. And as closing remarks, I'll just like to say three things. Whenever you think about innovation, it should be frugal to make, right? It should not cost you a bomb. It should be affordable for people to use it. And third is accessible. Accessible in terms of my favorite topic, which is persons with disabilities, but accessible across the state itself. And we have seen all the photos of all the places where this has been celebrated. We are very happy that TAS got involved into this, though at the last minute, but yes, we got 40 plus students learning at our Sisila Center, and of course a lot of our colleges and universities also became part of this whole system itself. So I think today is just the beginning. We need to ensure that we keep on celebrating such things, and all the best to all of you, and may the creativity in you always be alive. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Srikanth, for that. So just to build on your thoughts of, what innovation is or how do you build it, right? So, and in Telangana, what we've been following or how do we evaluate an innovation when it comes to us in a frugal manner is, there's something that we've learned even from, somebody called Anil Gupta, Professor Anil Gupta, right, who is seen as a father of at least grassroots innovation. He says that, any new idea is an innovation. Your idea might be same, but the materials that you use, if they're different, it's an innovation. Your materials might be the same, but if the process you use to make that solution is different, then it's an innovation. All of these things are same, but you're adding a new application to the existing solution is also an innovation, right? So all of these categories, right, today what you see, the checks that have been given out or the people who've spoken, are all of these people spread out in these different categories of what it is called as an innovation, the solution. And now I take immense pride in bringing or calling out the names of people behind this, the fact that we've pulled out in a very, very short span of time, like 3 days. And I'll be calling up on the team. Nidhi Mehta from T-Hub, Shankar Kundu from T-Hub, and we have Pandu Raghavendra Garu and Srinivas Taluka from T-Hub, who's been pulled into this in the last minute and then we'll be able to do it. And also the team TSIC, calling in Samyukta Ekirala, Senior Innovation Fellow, Shanta Thautam, Chief Innovation Officer to the state, and Dhruti Kalvapudi, Innovation Fellow in the Grassroots Innovation Sector, Ritika Reddy, Innovation Fellow in the Media and Communication, Annie Vijaya, Head Sustainability and Scalability, and Apurva Bhaskar, leads School Innovation. All of you just please come on the stage, and we just wanted to show you the team that has been put up this show. Yep. Aru, Pandu, everybody, yeah. So refreshments are being served outside. Also, like Srikanth